Hello everyone. Um, this is going to be mostly brief. I just want to touch on things, and this video is going to go by meaning of having an identity and autonomy of who you are, as well, not just as a person, but as a company, as a gaming industry and a game. Now, as you guys see, League of Legends, it's a love-hate relationship. No one loves League of Legends, but it has just enough addiction to keep players going. And one of the downfalls um, with mobile games is it can get very competitive, and you get a lot of people who assume that their teammates know how to play, and it's really tough for new players to get into it because not only do you have several different types of champions to use, over 200 I believe, but you also have to understand mechanics, the rules, the unspoken rules, and you can get negative feedback just because someone don't like you. You can get temporary bans to permanent bans. You might not ever be able to play rank. Um, a lot of things can happen due to toxicity, and League of Legends is one of the top games for that. It is the biggest game that I've played that has the most toxic players in there. Like, I've never had to hear, uh, well, I'm pretty sure do now on Call of Duty, but on here, read some 13-year-old talking shit to a grown man, and it's like, how do you argue with a kid who only knows how to play games? And a lot of this stuff stem from poor marketing. Like, this is supposed to be E for everyone. It's marketed to do that. It's wanting to branch out to find everyone to enjoy playing a game together and to have um, contests and things based on themes and having Merry Christmas orientations and everything. People who played back in beta and season 1 through, let's just say, 8 had that opportunity. The first 12 years of League of Legends was, well, I think it's a little bit less than 12, let's just say 8 years of League of Legends was something people could look forward to play. And there was always something going on. There was always things that people liked. One of the things was you could always get things from joining special events to completing milestones to get what you want. And one of the things here is you can, and all the UI changed so much compared to the older days. And I've only been playing since 3, 4 years, I think. So you have materials that wasn't there before. Um, well, it changed. It wasn't materials. It was like just loot crates or whatever. But you get orbs, and you open the orbs, and you get champions just like these. The gold framed ones you can just unlock. You get a large discount. Since I own all the champions, it won't show me unlock. It would be like if I went to get a champion, the cost, as of course you can't really see it. I don't think I have show all. Let's just pretend it's the skins. You have champions that will say these are BE. instead of riot points is BE. You're a blue essence. This stuff right here. Let's say these are what's the cost for each of these champions. You go in, you go, and you play. You get these orbs, you unlock them, it'll give you some blue essence, you level up, you get more orbs or little chests, you get skins, sometimes you get a little discounted um, tokens, that's what these are, to help upgrade. So these originally, before they changed up how your mastery works, is you get 3 tokens to go up one champion. Like right here, upgrade to champion permanent. I could, if I didn't own a Mumu, it would only cost me 135 blue essence due to this. This stuff I would actually get automatically, I think. I don't think this costs anything. These also give me instant mastery level up once I hit the required experience. I believe. I could be wrong. But the issue is, it's changed. It's like it's harder to get champions, it's harder to get skins, and to get your skins, you don't get blue essence. You get a different currency. You get, where is it? I guess orange essence. So you get orange essence from a little bit more valuable crates. Get chests, and these chests will give you blue essence and everything. But now you're starting to notice, back in the day when Riot was focused on players and not marketing for sales, there was a good balance between things to buy and things you can just farm up to getting for free. Everything was free. You just had to grind, you had to work hard, and a lot of RNG was put into it to get some of your skins. This stuff right here. The stuff that you want to get. I want to get Rel's Grand Reckoning skin. It's going to cost me 975 riot points. You don't get riot points for working. There's no, what do you call it? I don't think there is anything. No, they used to have it. It's always on and off about what you get and what you don't get. Damn, they're showing everything that I owned. I'm a sucker for this game. I don't own all the skins or anything, and I really regret. As soon you get buyer's regret, I got that. Like, I don't feel like I gotten the value of my money for the game that I'm playing. Like, the most when you purchase RP was $100. For new players, they're going to see something different. But the players prior to this year, and it happened, I believe, this year, a little bit of last year, when they had a Jin skin that cost $100. This money isn't going to anyone but Tencent. No one knows who Tencent is, per se. They're not ones that make games. They fund them. Why is this Riot? Why is Riot still Riot? What happened in the beginning? Why is it, if I want to buy something, 32,000 Riot points, 58,000 Riot points? What is so special that I want this skin and I want to represent this champion and what this champion stands for? But if I want this one, if I want the prestige skin, I'll get the hall pass. I'll go. This is Hall Legends. This is all new. I don't like exploring. This is the battle pass. So I had to get up to here to get this prestige skin, and that's basically it. You're just getting icons and all that stuff. That's it. There's a chroma. That's it. But besides of this is nice. Alright, we all get battle passes. We all understand it helps fund everything. But where did we lose our identity? Um, and I'll say we lost it when Riot was bought out. Tencent is notorious. Every single company they have their fingers in, they think if they're going to succeed, if Riot has promised to succeed, they're going to fund them. They're going to buy all their stocks too, and you'll have nothing to protect yourself. And you'll sell out because you want that money and you promise you'll keep control of the game and the marketing. And Tencent's only there to help fund your championships and your worlds and pay for these players to represent your game and have fun. And next thing you know, you're in a fucking gotcha. You're spending $430 for 60,000 RP points, when back in the day this was your limit. You didn't exceed this, where your bonus was 10,000. Where's your 10,000? You, for spending $430, you get less than, you'll get $9 back for this. Not even. This is like $7 in bonus. So you spend you spend $430 just to get $7 in bonus. Good job. You paid $7. You paid $430 to get a $7 bonus. What the fuck? What's the fucking point of having a bonus? You could just go and buy this. There's nothing different. You go in here and you get a 275 bonus RP. But if you spend, if you buy this twice you get less. No, you get, yeah, it's, some of these, it's really stupid. Like you get 100 if you pay for, my math is terrible. If you buy 2 of these, you're getting a little bit more. Like you're making 40 RP less than this. Like $22 for this. 16, 17. You're getting 27, like 27.60. Or you spend and get a little bit more for the same. So you're not making any differences. You're like, if you had this, all right, this gets you 27.60. But if you go and get this should be more than just buying 2 of these. You want something where it's like, all right, you could spend $5 more, you would get this. But instead, you're going to get 800 or 1,000 more RP than you would buying 2 of this. But it's going to still be cheaper than buying 2 of this and 1 of this, because you're getting more RP for better value compared to going to the next. And the same thing for the next one, and you just grow and grow and grow. I don't mind this. Some people want this, some people enjoy the aspect, they can afford it, but then you get people who get suckered into it, who spend money needlessly. I fall in this category. I hate it because I could have gotten everything I had just working a little bit harder. And it would have happened. It could have still have happened before this was implemented, before they added the two. This don't even make sense. Like, if you're going to go up, you might as well go everything in between, because it just don't make sense. For me, 100. Alright, let's go to the next 50. 150. Alright, that's going to be more than just buying this package and this package. So you're going to go and say, alright, it's going to be 20,000. Well, this is going to be 30,000 or 25,000. Whatever the thing is, where you're still going to get the better value by going higher than it is to buy two and one. But it don't. I don't know why they do this. Maybe they have to pay for each section that becomes available. I don't know. Makes no sense. Marketing on this aspect isn't understandable. In this case, they should just not have this and just buy by points that you want to put in. I got $50, I'm going to get $50 of RP. That's only one thing. Another issue that we have here is your mythic shop, your sanctum. How do you get this? How do I get this? You can't get this except for a special way. And that's like one of the special season chests that you have to buy. You don't unlock it. You get it through your little um, your little what do you call this useless shit? I forgot already. Your little packages. Your what the fuck? Anyways, I'm just baffled. It made me forget what I was trying to explain. Your battle pass. So you had to pay. If I want this, if I want to look cool, I had to spend a lot of money. How much money? Well, let's just do this. I don't have this money. Your daily allowance, they limit how much you can buy. Alright? I've came across this once when, I was in a better financial spot where I could afford spending those $100 packages. Alright, I want to go and treat myself. I'll go and find out that there is a limit on how much you can buy per 24 hours. But for this, you get a limit. And one of these costs 400 RP. Just one. Just one of this. One spark. And it'll tell you you'll get a guaranteed roll if you get 70. Within 70 rolls. So you could get one. But, don't know. So how much? 400? Where's my calculator? Son of a bitch. But it's a lot. Let's just say it's definitely 4,000 for 10 sparks. So where would the 4,000 come down to? 4,000. You had to spend $35 just to have a chance of getting your S tier skin. It might not even be this. It does even show you the list of what you can get. Nope, it just tells you the rules and laws. So yeah, it's all very situational. You get S tier, you're not getting anything. You're not getting. This is S tier. You're getting skins. Skins, which is what pays for their bills. The game's free. You can play. You can unlock 40% now compared to like 80% where the rest of it was blocked off by a paywall. But now you don't. Now you had to pay actual money to get something you like. And it's understandable to a point. Now, back to this. How did Riot become a family fun game back in the early 2000s to become something that is just now a gacha? Every single game that Tencent touched is becoming gacha. What's a gacha? Well, I got you because I got your money. That's what gacha means. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the things. Chat GPT. When did Tencent buy it right? When did this all happen? And it happened back in February 2011. This is when they went and bought 92%, because there was something that prevented them from getting everything. Uh, so it stopped, but later on that year they get the rest of it. And then, well, later on, 4 years later, they get the rest. And now they own Tencent all the way. So what does this mean? What does this mean for Riot? What does this mean for us? And I'll tell you what. When you have a company that funds you, because you can't sustain your financial costs to make a profit, or enough of a profit to grow. There's a difference between sustaining uh, and growing. Sustaining is where you're making ends meet and you're making a little bit of money to be comfortable. All right. Let's just say I make 45,000. I am just barely making it as a bachelor, but it's livable. If I make 70,000, I am more than sustaining. I am making a profit. I am going about getting into a better livelihood. All right? Every company wants this. Every company wants growth, but they can't afford it. So, in order to market, Tencent reached out. There's a huge thing. Just ask ChatGPT or go on YouTube. There could be a lot of vlogs or videos of how Tencent came around, their goals and everything. But I'll tell you this: it is very confusing to me to understand a lot of these Chinese companies. China isn't bad. China is misunderstood. I don't support China because I am not in that political spectrum. I'm more Republican to the Democratic Republic of the United States. I believe in a strong military, but I also believe in the civil service that the government is supposed to serve and help and guide us. So my taxes goes to them, and I expect in return protection, education, and easier life as long as I pay my taxes, which comes from working hard. Communist Party is completely different, more complex, and I'm not getting into the political debate because this isn't supposed to be political. This is more of losing who you are because you're a bio, because you lose everything because you want $200 million right here. Now I bet you this 7% is probably half of what they bought right here. I bet you 4 years later, and Tencent wants the rest of it. They want the whole anonymity of who you are. I want to own you. I want to go and dictate what you can and can't do, but I'll make you think you have the rights to do what you want. That is like Tencent being the parent to Riot. Yeah, go ahead, go play in the park. come back at 8 o'clock before the lights turn on. Alright, and if you don't, then you'll get grounded. And how do you get grounded? By firing people. You go and fire the head, or you fire a director for arts or music or whatever, and be like, alright, this is what happens when you don't listen. You'll lose stuff. So, let's go on. So, Tencent buys Alt-Right. Why is this bad? Well, I got a little video for you. So this video right here happened 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to play this one, I'm going to play you this one instead. This, 12 years ago. Alright, 58 million views, alright, that's good. I bet you most of it came later on, when Riot became more famous and people liked to watch videos. Now, I'm only going to play a little bit of it, skip through pieces. A little too loud for my taste. But just tell me what's different between this and the next one I'm going to play. Just remember, this is graphics from 12 years ago. know, that's pretty fun. I enjoyed that. That was bringing back good memories, enjoying everything that this game is supposed to be. You know, there was no talking, there was no political debate, there was no DEI, there was nothing. This was just pure game. There was no racial differences, there was nothing. You had people who fought and had good synergy with what League of Legends is supposed to have been. And this was like the last video. I wanted to go a little bit before the 11-year mark to have it kept where Tencent, before they gotten their tentacles on Riot. There was a video, let's see, a little bit older. Let's say this is new. Or is it there are older ones? Because I want. This is something that gave you an idea. Like, a lot of these, like, well, I can't find it, but if you go and check through here, there's like 3 hours of cinematics. Now, there is a difference between a cinematic for the game or for the season, as well as what it stands for. This here is for Arcane. This isn't the game. This is Arcane. This is all for the next movie. It's like a teaser trailer. Alright? So this one isn't necessarily a game trailer of what's added. This is a trailer for the Hall of Fame. Now, that's really like the argument, you know. I didn't have, you know, a good representation of a trailer. Well, there was none. There was no trailer for the upcoming Hall of Fame. There was no advertisements in that aspect. It was for each season or each year. They wanted to go and target and sell and just get as much players as they can to play their game, to go and spend some money, and that money going into their pockets to go and pay their bills and help keep the company going on the right track, which is a roller coaster going up. You might have some downs, but you're always leaning towards the skies. Now, let's try the next. This is the most recent. This is the trailer for the Hall of Fame, as it shows right here. Most of the trailers that you'll watch, they don't talk. Grunts, sounds, groans, that's it. This is different. And I want you to understand, Riot is an American company. Riot is 100% Englished. All their games was always in English. And I'm not being racist, but I'm using this as an example of what happens when you lose your identity and autonomy of who you are and who you represent, because you want money more than the enjoyment for the players that pay your bills.
质疑从不缺席，但喧嚣一时。
By the way, this is the English trailer.
动力。强者从不止步游移，质 只会以力量回敬。传奇之名，自当高歌。
So, this video probably isn't the best to argue this one, because Uzi is Chinese. Let me check real quick. I believe he is. I think that was. What did I do? Press 10,000 different buttons. Yeah, so Uzi here is Chinese. So I can understand they want to have that trailer come from his home language, from having this represented. But the issue is, and I'm going to unmark this because I represent Uzi. You represent Uzi. We're gamers. We work. He just went in a professional route. This isn't what I want, though. Not Uzi, not this trailer, but the route that this goes to. Because, yeah, it's fine. I totally get you having, your Hall of Fame, you're honoring a player. Last year you had Faker, this year you have Uzi. The next year you'll probably have another person, so on and so forth. Perfectly fine. Everyone should have a chance to have their, 15 minutes of fame. What I don't represent is the cost to get all of this. You can get this, yeah. You'll only get this through this. How much would it cost? Let's go back to where it all started, guys. $19 to get this. You get this automatically plus your 100, so you'll complete your battle pass right then and there. Alright? You'll get your skins. You'll get this and this. You get your, I don't know what this is. Signature. I guess these are emotes. I don't know, it doesn't tell you anything whatsoever. Skin augment. I don't know. But this is all you get. You get chromas for champions who'll probably never play or even remember that you have a chroma for them unless that's the only thing you have. Or you got better memory than me, which is not hard to do. Um, but it makes no sense. I have all of this for $430. Is Uzi gaining any of this? Is he gaining royalty for this? I bet you not. I bet you he signed a contract. If he's in China, it's a contract not with Riot. I bet you Tencent representative is here. I bet you Tencent is paying him a flat fee, and the rest of it is going into Tencent's pocket with probably, like, say, 25-30% going to Riot. Alright? That's how it goes. Tencent gets a large amount. If Riot argues, they can't do anything about it. They can't fire Tencent. Tencent owns them. Riot lost its ability, its identity of who they are. That's another thing I want to bring up. Baldur's Gate 2 didn't have that issue. The company that made Baldur's Gate owns themselves. They didn't want no publisher to go and pay for some of the things, but in order to give you that money, I want you to have LGBTQT or some other political standpoint for what you may or may not represent. You don't want to hear political ideals that you might not agree with thrown at you or shoved down your throat to consume. Alright? I'm not a person who likes to hear things continuously or forced to read or listen or watch stuff that I don't agree with. Either it be a political or maybe it could be a scary movie that I don't like. Maybe I don't like gore, but I'm forced to watch something because it just does. Like when I went to Loot, when the Mythic Shop and the Sanctum first came in, they forced you to go here first. You had no option going back to your crafting to what you own. I couldn't go and see what I had for my skins first. I was forced to look at this every single time I wanted to go here. It brought me to the Sanctum. I had to go extra 10 seconds just to do that, just to get to my skins, just to see what do I have available, how much orange essence do I have to get to unlock this skin. Alright, now it comes down to I can't get blue essence unless I level up or spend money. How much do I have to spend to get blue orange essence? Well, you can't buy orange essence. You can buy riot points, and maybe if you buy this, you might get 100 orange essence. All right, that's just how it is. Oh, okay, and this is a guaranteed orange essence, but you gotta spend what, $10? Because it doesn't give you enough. You had to go for a 10. So it's a gotcha. It's a gotcha game. Most people who played League of Legends already know this. This is just one of those wake-up calls. You guys need to wake up. You guys are the fuel to the fire, and I'm not telling you not to play. I'm just telling you this is a red flag. This is what gets you into getting stuck. If you're financially stable, you don't need to spend money. If Uzi needs money, he'll go and reach out. He'll go and get a job. The guy's like 27 years old. So he has his own ways. Riot or Tencent or whoever decided to call him the second Hall of Famer to represent who he is. I'm going to give you some of this information because me as a gamer believe Uzi does deserve this, and this is why. First, I had to make sure I wasn't like, you know how the Americans are. You're only in the Hall of Fame and if you die. So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, did he die? Is this an American thing where it's like you only get rewarded after you're dead? You know, so you don't enjoy things while you're still alive. Um, Uzi here has been what's called an ADC. He ADC is a bot lane where you're supposed to be a hyper carry or a role that leads the game in kills and opportunities to pivot into a win due to strategies. He was born in 1997 in Hubei, China. He began his career in 2012, played for multiple organizations, one of the big ones being RNG. He also retired due to diabetes and having injuries. Um, I had to make sure in here, did he die? Because then it might have been a little bit different. But he didn't. This guy worked. He wasn't the best, but he represented the best in the business. So it comes down, did he die? No. He just, got to deal with, life issues due to hand injuries. So most likely carpal tunnel. Um, I don't know when, maybe early 2000s. Um, where was it? Yeah, he went in 2012. So he probably got carpal tunnel. One of the biggest things that are different between the Western countries, and I'm going to include Europe into this, compared to the Eastern countries. And I'm not putting Russia in this either, or Serbia, or the Middle East. This is directly towards the Asian countries. You have a whole different caliber of people. I'm not saying they're better, I'm saying they're different. And different in multiple aspects. So one of the things I freaking enjoy is how they treat their family better than, well, I'm just going to say it, than Americans. We fucking suck at taking care of our parents. We throw them into nursing homes. Anyways, this guy worked hard, probably doing 14-hour days, playing game, trying to get better. You lose your enjoyment when you have to work. Yeah, I want to play games. I want to also get paid to play games. Well, 10 years later, you lose that enthusiasm. You lose that original spark that you had, that joy, the idealism. Ubisoft did this with their Assassin's Creed saga. It was amazing up to, what was it, Black Flag. Then after Black Flag, everything just went fucking downhill. Same thing with Dragon Age. Now you have DEI in there, and people want to force gender equality on games, and they have to announce it. Oh, look, I'm gay. You need to acknowledge it. I don't need to acknowledge shit. As long as you respect me for who I am, I'll respect you for who you are. But you do not need to force me to acknowledge who you are. If you force me to do anything, I will become violent. And that's how a lot of people are. People are tired of a lot of this. And, you know, Vanguard, Dragon Age Vanguard, total flop. Anyways, back to Uzi. So why is he being honored? Announced in the second inductee for League of Legends Esports Hall of Legends, followed by Faker, recognized for his profound impact on competitive League of Legends. He was officially inducted in Shanghai on June 6th in 2005. A career-wide documentary launched on June 11th. I'll tell you right now, this is almost an hour-long story of who Uzi is. And I recommend you go and watch it. I'm not going to go and play it for us. I'm not going to spend 60 minutes of my time on that because I already about to spend 60 minutes on this. And I did say this was supposed to be brief. Uh, but this guy was given this, and he's given the same thing Faker had, the same thing a lot of DRX and RNG and all the other competitive esports teams that play League of Legends. You'll have them in the skins. It's always going to be something people strive to get. Also, me, I fall under the same thing. I'm not very big into esport competitions. I'll watch the Worlds, but that's about as much as I'll get. Um, but you'll get them. You'll get the Worlds. You get the Victorious skins. A lot of these are just theme based, but you'll have. Oh damn, it's not a lot. I probably own most of them. Um, but you'll get them. You'll get the Riot will say, hey, you know, you played Yasuo mid. You wrecked the competition. Since you played this, we're going to make a theme based on it. You're going to be in that trailer. This trailer right here. We're going to represent you, and you're going to represent us. And in return, you help us make a skin, its chroma, and all of that, and you'll be internalized into the game. So people do that. They'll go and work, and that's how a game's supposed to be. But it gets a little bit mixed up. So it's a good thing he's not deceased. But I'm gonna try to end this a little bit short. Overall, and I'll put timestamps to save you guys my nonsense bickering. But I don't believe a game should be solely focused on marketing. If you start doing marketing, then you start losing your players. So many games, World of Warcraft, you have League of Legends, all you got Dota. You have so many games, and it's getting closer and closer. Look at the new Assassin's Creed. You have people playing something completely not historically correct. You're insulting a country, you're insulting their heritage, and you're insulting yourselves. You sold yourself to be something you are not. You lost your identity. You don't know who you are anymore. And this is the basis of everything. A company should stand for something. What is the United States military? What do they stand for? Where do they stand for and what are they against? Same thing with companies, same things with games, and same thing with you and me. The moment you sell yourself is the moment you lose yourself. You can't go back to that innocent person. You can't go back to apologizing, making the way it was prior to it. You are stuck with the actions you make. And Riot is biting the bullet big time on this. You're not going to get just this. You're not having just a cinematic trailer. They are going to work towards a goal. And Tencent isn't political, mind you. They are a shadow company. They work in the shadows. They want to represent games that they believe will make profit for them, not their beliefs. Not like, oh, Riot is standing for something that I believe in, so I will support them. No, they got bought out. And one of the issues is the same thing that happened with Tesla when Elon and two other engineers who created Tesla's company, Elon bought out the majority of the stock. And then he pushed the other two engineers out into retirement and he bought out the rest of the stocks. Now he officially owns Tesla. He hired himself. I'm not against Elon. I believe in Doge. I believe that we need to be more economic and efficient, but I don't believe politics should be affecting us in these games. I should not be forced to see things I don't like. I shouldn't be forced to read or to see things in order to click the play button. When I open the right client, I am forced to say, hey, I'm forced to read, do you want double authentication? Do you want to play a game? Click play, and then I'm stuck with this. The whole screen is changed. Alright, so what is making me read this? Hall of Fame. Alright, good. It could just been this. You don't need to completely block out my ability to click the play button. I had to exit, and then I had to go and see all this. And my OCD is every single pip that I see, I have to go through this. And this is funny because they say, oh, well, there's an option to turn off the pips. Yeah, my option is definitely on, I'll tell you that. It's the option to turn the shit off. And what do I get? More pips. So, that's one of the things. Riot failed, and Tencent is changing them. I don't believe Riot would have been forced into making you buy this stuff. And well, you're not forced to do anything. Putting options. You know it becomes a gotcha when it used to be $20, then $50, then $100, and then just out of nowhere it's doubled, and then doubled again. So where does it stop? You can buy this twice. You have to wait 24 hours, buy more twice, and then that's it. You get a limited amount, but you can keep buying and buying. But we're going to limit how much because, we don't want to get in legal issues. Riot's already in trouble with its marketing. So it's just one of those things. And you'll see a few years later, you're going to lose more of your characters' identities because they don't even make trailers for characters. So that's arcane movies, and even then the cinematic trailers is just weird now. Good designs, good everything, beautiful artwork, but that's where it ends. You're buying skins for things that you think is going to be good, and it ends up being something different. Your money isn't going into the company to be invested. It's going into pockets of investors, and these investors are the ones that dictate what you will play and how you will play. So I'm going to end it there, keeping it under an hour for my brief rant, freaking useless shit. Yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to let you guys know. Do your own research. I'm not your historian. I am not qualified, nor do I have the time management skills to keep this stuff brief. Nonetheless, the patience to edit. You'll notice a lot of my videos are unedited because I keep it 100%. With that, I hope you guys have a good end of your week. Be smart, have fun, play your League of Legends, and don't spend your money on the games. Buy something feasible, physical. Enjoy life. Touch grass. See you later.